Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about quite a few different things today. We've got a Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake update. We have a Silent Hill 2 official update from Bloober Team, and we have some stuff around the ABK acquisition, some comments made by Japan, and some comments made by US members of Congress claiming that Sony is deliberately getting in the way of Xbox thriving in Japan. Very interesting comments that I definitely want to go into an in-depth conversation about. Quickly, before we jump into all this greatness, do me a huge favor and like, subscribe, share the video, helps the channel a ton. Now let's talk about Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. So according to Andy Robinson from VGC, they say on Twitter, MGS3 Remake is now a 2024 title, and there's still talk of MGS re-releases of some kind. E3 window was their marketing plan last I heard. So very interesting stuff there. So, Andy has talked about this in the past on VGC before, talking about Metal Gear and some re-release stuff. And it looks like they've given us a little more information here. I think that this is probably a reliable source. I'm very inclined to believe that this is a possibility. There's too much smoke around this to think that this is impossible. So MGS3 Remake and MGS re-releases, if they are going to be a thing, likely will be seen at E3 or the E3 window timeframe. We could also see some of this stuff at a PlayStation showcase as well, given that they have some deals with Konami regarding Silent Hill 2 Remake at least. So it's not impossible that this could also be a case with any of the Metal Gear projects. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of it for this update with Metal Gear Solid 3. It looks interesting. Let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think that Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake will be seen at E3? And what do you think the context is for Metal Gear Solid re-releases? Now, next we have an update from Bloober Team. And of course, they had to come out and talk because everybody was under the impression that the game was ready to go. Silent Hill 2 Remake was ready to go, and they were just holding on to it. Officially, from their Twitter, it says, as the Bloober Team, we don't comment on rumors. However, this time we need to take the floor, as some recent statements have been taken out of context due to inaccurate translations. Our company's message did not contain sales forecasts of specific titles. The figures connected to Silent Hill 2 refer to the potential success of the type of games we will be focusing on in the future. It is also not true that we have announced that Silent Hill 2 is ready for release. Regardless of the development stage, all of our activities are focused on obtaining the highest quality for the finished product, the quality that fans of Silent Hill 2 deserve. And then it goes on to say that we are aware that you guys are waiting and yada, yada, yada. But basically, they want to deliver a high-quality game. Anyway, to kind of sum this up, I mean, I read half of it already, but what we thought was the case was just due to mistranslation, and that Silent Hill 2 is not actually ready to go just yet. So now that we know that, yeah, Silent Hill 2 may not come out this year. We'll see what happens. They haven't given an official release date anyway, so we really don't know when it's coming. But I would hope that maybe if there is a PlayStation showcase sometime soon, that we see this game there and maybe we get a little more light on this, or maybe even at E3 with their Konami conference that they're having. But no clear answer just yet. Let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think we're going to see Silent Hill 2 soon? Do you think it's coming out this year? Where are we going to see it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Now next, which is the bulk of this video more than likely, we're going to be talking about ABK. We're going to be talking about US members of Congress making some comments, my thoughts on those comments. But let's start with Japan saying that they are okay with the deal going forward. The Japan Fair Trade Commission has published a statement in which it says it has reviewed the transaction and reached a conclusion that it is unlikely to result in substantially restraining competition in any particular fields of trade. It added that it has notified the parties that the JFTC will not issue a cease and desist order, resulting in the completion of its review. So they're okay with ABK acquisition, and that is kind of ironic because US members of Congress have had some comments as well, which I kind of want to jump into this more than anything. So basically, Politico reports that Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell made the claim during a Senate Finance Committee hearing on Thursday, calling on U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai to raise the issue with Japan during trade talks. Cantwell's claim was supported by 2 letters, one from 4 Republican members of Congress, the other from 6 Democrats, which also called on Tai and Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo to take action. The accusation being made is that Sony deliberately makes exclusivity deals with third-party publishers that are designed to ensure Xbox doesn't gain a foothold in Japan. And that is the big statement here. I think this is a very bold and interesting statement because I do think that it's being stretched pretty heavily. And it's not going to take much more than to look at a couple things like, number one, exclusivity agreements happen all over this industry, not just in Japan. Number two, the dominant gaming factor in Japan is mobile handheld gaming. It's not high-end gaming to begin with. Number three, there has already been several attempts by Microsoft in the 360 era with making exclusive Japanese-focused video games, so JRPGs and other types of Japanese games as well. Unfortunately, those things did not work, and that was during a time where console gaming at home was far more dominant than it is today in Japan. So to say that, PlayStation and Sony are holding back Microsoft's progress in Japan, I think is not accurate. I would say that's the nicest way of putting it, is that it's not accurate. The other issue with this is that not every game that comes from Japan that doesn't land on Xbox is due to exclusivity agreements. It is partly due to them just not being able to move units on Xbox, making it not worth their time to port the game over, which is obviously a very major point, because why would you want to port your game over if it's not going to sell well enough to, first of all, make the returns enough that you break even? But second, you want to make money. You don't port games to break even. You port games to make money, and enough money to make it worth your time. And that's just something that unfortunately does not happen with Xbox, with very niche titles that are coming out of Japan. So I think these are very important key points that are being overlooked here. Now, there is another statement that's being made, and I think it's very interesting that is being made. In quotes, I'm told that Sony controls a monopoly of 98% of the high-end game market, yet Japan's government has allowed Sony to engage in blatant anti-competitive conduct through exclusive deals and payments to game publishers, Cantwell said during the hearing. This is probably the most ridiculous of the claims, because 98% of the high-end game market, what does that even mean, right? Are we assuming that PC gaming is not a thing? Are we assuming that the only gaming that happens in Japan is on PS5s, PS4s, and Xboxes? Because that's obviously not the case. I might argue that more gaming is done on PCs than on PS5s, but I don't have the stats for that, so I can't say that as a confirmation, but that's just something that I would think. Now, if I'm wrong and you guys have a source, I would love to see that. But as far as I can think of, like in the scope of the high-end game market, I would say that, yeah, PC is certainly a part of that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that these statements are accurate, or do you think they're being overblown? As always, if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe, like, share the video, helps the channel a ton. You can also follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. Thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.